Hello, welcome to English Literature Link. Sir Richard Steele and the Club at the Trumpet. About Richard Steele. Richard Steele was an Anglo-Irish writer. He was a playwright, he was politician. He is best known for his contributions to English periodical literature. He co-founded The Tatler and The Spectator with his close friend Sir Joseph Addison. Thus, they created a new genre of essay that combined entertainment with moral instruction as well as social commentary. Sir Richard Steele was born in Dublin, Ireland in 1672 to a Protestant family. He was educated at Charterhouse School, from where he befriended Joseph Addison. He attended Merton College, Oxford, but left without completing a degree. Steele's first major literary success was with The Christian Hero, published in the year 1701, which was a moralistic treatise. He also wrote several popular plays, including Funeral, published in the year 1701, The Lying Lover, 1703, and The Conscious Lovers. And The Conscious Lovers, published in the year 1722, was one of the earliest examples of sentimental comedy. In 1709, Steele founded The Tatler, which is a periodical blending news, essays, and satire. It was followed by The Spectator, which ran in between 1711 and 1712, where Richard Steele and Addison collaborated to address social issues, moral issues, as well as cultural issues. When we come to his political involvement, we can see that Steele served as a member of parliament and he was a supporter of the Whig Party. His political writings, such as The Crisis, published in 1714, defended constitutional monarchy as well as Protestant succession. So his essays, Steele's essays often explored domestic life, manners, education, gender roles, and what else. And he had a talent for capturing the quirks of ordinary people and elevating everyday experiences. So let's move on to the club at Trumpet. So the club at Trumpet Club is actually name of a club where it is an essay that published in 107th number in the Tatler, which explores the leisure activities and conversations of an informal club. So Trumpet is the name of an informal club where elderly gentlemen who meet regularly at a tavern or inn named or a club named the Trumpet. So the Trumpet is the name of an informal club where elderly gentlemen, including the narrator, used to visit. The narrator is an intellectual observer and he meditates, contemplates on the nature of their meetings, the personalities of the members of the Trumpet Club, and the broader implications of old age and conversation. So the narrator begins by describing the habit of relaxing with friendly companions after a day of focused study. These gatherings serves as a prelude to restful sleep, transitioning his mind from intellectual abstraction to tranquil thoughts. He introduces the club at the Trumpet, where he has spent a significant part of his evenings over 40 years. Over 40 years, he have been spending a significant part of his evenings in this Trumpet Club. So they explores the themes of aging, conversation, importance of conversation, and value of meaningful discourses. So let's see who are the key characters in the club at the Trumpet. The eldest member and the leader of the club was Sir Geoffrey Nosh. He is considered as the leader of the club. He holds the privileged position of sitting by the fire and stirring it. And he's a noble man of noble lineage and who squandered his inheritance on gambling and cockfighting. And he regards successful individuals as, I quote, pitiful upstarts. He regards successful individuals as, within quote, pitiful upstarts. Second character is Major Matchlock, who is a veteran of the English Civil Wars. He is considered as if you want, you can consider him as an encyclopedia recollection of battles. So he often recounts tales of military exploits, particularly his experience at Marston Moor and being unseated during a riot. Now, third character is Dick Reptile. He is a genial, quiet man who brings his 18-year-old nephew Jack along with him to this trumpet club. And Jack used to observe and learn from their Jack used to observe and learn them from their conversations. Whenever Jack makes some comments, Dick often says that chides his nephew with remarks about the foolishness of his youth. Dick used to say that these you young people consider as fools, but we are not like that. Dick used to make some comments. Now, fourth character is the Bencher. The Bencher is something related to lawyer and all. So the Bencher is a witty man with a perch, and for he used to quote Hudibras lines from 10 verses from um, 10 ditches. Ditches means a line consists of two lines from Hudibras, and often every day he used to quote lines from Hudibras, and also he used to share tales of notorious character named Jack Ogle. Jack Ogle. Now, he laments the lack of wit in modern age and idealizes the escapades of his youth. So, he often used to describe about tales about notorious character named Jack Ogle, Jackogle. Next is fifth character is the narrator himself. Narrator is considered as the most learned member of the group, intellectual of the group, and occasionally he's known for his scholarly detachment, and his contributions often steer conversations toward more reflective topics. Towards more reflective topics. So that's all about surface level description of key characters in the club at the trumpet. Now, so we have five members, important members, where Sir Geoffrey Norris is the eldest member. Major Matchlock is there, who is a war veteran who often recounts tales of his military exploits. Then Dick Reptile is there, who is a gentleman who brings his 18-year-old nephew Jack into the club. Now you can see the Bencher, who often quotes ditches of Hudibras and shares anecdotes of notorious character named Jack Ogle. Then you can see finally the narrator, who is very scholarly and intellectual among the other members. So these are the five members mentioned in Richard Steele's The Club at the Trumpet. Now we can see that the narrator describes arriving late one evening and observes the ongoing discussions in the club. Sir Geoffrey Norris shares a sentimental story. One day, when narrator came late into the Trumpet Club, he observes the ongoing discussions. Discussions have already begun. The now narrator sees Sir Geoffrey Norris shares a sentimental story about, I called, old Ganlet, a prized gamecock that symbolized his youthful triumphs and losses. And this prompts Major Matchlock to recount yet another tale of the Battle of Edge Hill. Then the Bencher interjects with an anecdote about Jack Ogle, and continuing his tradition of weaving the same set of rhymed couplets from Hudibras we have seen into every conversation. He used to weave these rhymed couplets into every conversations. Now, Dick Reptile listens this while his nephew remains largely silent. Occasionally, his nephew Jack, 18-year-old boy, used to react with these conversations. The gathering often continues till 10 p.m., where the narrator departs, reflecting on the conversational habits of old age. Now, this Richard Steele here, this essay concludes with the narrator's meditations on nature of aging, as well as importance of conversation during old age. And old age, he says, it amplifies the human tendency to talk, but not all speech is valuable or meaningful. Your mind should be a repository of either wisdom or folly, depending on how one have lived. If we live a life of experience and wisdom, we have lot of quality stuff to contribute in a conversation, right? But if we live a life of foolishness, literally we won't have much to contribute. We won't have anything creative to contribute during a conversation. So that's the point Richard Steele want to make here. The narrator cautions against this low quality or trivial storytelling in old age, advocating instead for discourse that entertains and enriches others. Our experiences, tales of our experience should enrich others. It should entertain on one hand, as well as it should contribute something, right? So he draws inspiration from Homer's description of Nestor, Nestor, who is a character of Homer. And Nestor is a wise man, and whose words were as sweet as honey, he says. He compares Milton's vision of eloquence to divine manna, manna, which is a very sweet dish, and our conversation should be as wise as Nestor. It should be as sweet as manna. So he draws inspiration from Homer as well as Milton. So you can see passage of time where this essay reflects on inevitable decline of life and how it shapes one's habits, interests, and social interactions. He also stresses the value of conversation, and this conversation helps one to relax. It can educate others, and it will makes bonds or connections. But it also has a potential pitfall for self-indulgence, he says. Now, he contrasts the anecdote storytelling of other club members. Some other club members used to chat for passing their time or killing their time with mean storytelling. And he emphasizes storytelling as a responsibility of elderly to share their valuable insights. That is the purpose of storytelling, to enliven with morality, as he always says. So Steele's essay is a blend of we can say that Richard Steele can be considered as pioneer of modern journalism and essay writing. His essays is a blend of humor, character study, and philosophical reflection. He offers a snapshot of 18th century social life while explores timeless questions about aging, companionship, and the art of conversation. Thank you.